Princess Catherine has worn some of the most extraordinary royal jewels in the world. But there is a fascinating detail many royal watchers may have missed. Several of these priceless pieces spent years hidden away, rarely seen even when Queen Elizabeth II had access to them. And one particular jewel reveals just how quietly Catherine has inherited more than a royal wardrobe. So why did Catherine become the woman trusted to bring them back into the spotlight? Princess Catherine has worn some of the most extraordinary jewels in the British royal collection. But here is the intriguing part. Several of these pieces had spent years, even decades, largely hidden from public view. When the Princess of Wales eventually wore them, they seemed to take on an entirely different meaning. Behind the diamonds, sapphires, and pearls is a fascinating story about royal taste, family memory, and succession. From Queen Elizabeth II to Princess Diana and the Queen Mother, these jewels have passed through generations. But why do so many of them seem to work so naturally with Catherine? For years, Queen Elizabeth II had access to an extraordinary collection, yet personal taste mattered. Some pieces were simply not right for her style. The Indian circlet, for example, was an elaborate creation associated with Queen Victoria and inspired by Indian jewelry. Its diamonds and rubies make it one of the collection's most striking pieces, but it never became part of Elizabeth II's familiar public image. Catherine, meanwhile, has already shown that she can carry historic jewels without allowing them to overwhelm her. And then there is the sapphire connection. Catherine's engagement ring, famously associated with Princess Diana, immediately established sapphire as one of the strongest elements of her jewelry identity. That makes pieces such as the Queen Mother's sapphire and diamond fringe earrings especially striking. When Catherine wore those earrings publicly, the deep blue stones created a visual link with the ring she wears every day. But the story becomes even more personal when Diana's jewelry enters the picture. The Collingwood pearl earrings were given to Diana as a wedding gift in 1981. Unlike crown jewels, they belonged to Diana personally, and eventually became part of the inheritance associated with her sons. When Catherine began wearing them, there was no dramatic announcement. She simply incorporated them into her royal wardrobe. That quietness may be exactly what made the gesture so powerful. Every time Catherine wears those pearls, viewers can see a connection between two women who never had the chance to meet. Diana's style remains recognizable, but the jewelry has found a new chapter through Catherine. It is not simply about fashion. It is about family memory being carried forward. The same emotional weight surrounds the Japanese pearl choker. Originally created from pearls associated with Queen Elizabeth II's visit to Japan, it later became strongly identified with Diana. Catherine eventually wore it during moments of national mourning, including Prince Philip's funeral and Queen Elizabeth II's state funeral. That choice gave the necklace a completely different atmosphere. A piece once associated with glamour became part of Catherine's formal language of remembrance. And then comes one of the most recognizable examples, the Cartier Halo Tiara. Queen Elizabeth II received the tiara from her father as an 18th birthday gift, yet she never publicly wore it as queen. Decades later, Catherine placed it at the center of one of the most memorable images of her life, her wedding to Prince William in 2011. There is something almost perfect about that transition. A tiara given to a young princess eventually became the crown-like centerpiece of Catherine's entrance into royal life. But Catherine's relationship with royal jewelry did not stop at inherited memories. The lotus flower tiara, for instance, had a very different history. It was created from a necklace belonging to the Queen Mother and later became closely associated with Princess Margaret. For years, its image carried echoes of a more glamorous and rebellious era. Catherine eventually wore it herself, presenting the design in a more restrained and contemporary way. That ability to reinterpret the past is perhaps one of Catherine's greatest strengths. She does not have to imitate the women who wore these pieces before her. Instead, she can allow the jewelry to retain its history while giving it a new visual identity. The same idea can be seen in Queen Mary's Art Deco diamond choker. Its geometric design was not particularly suited to Queen Elizabeth II's preferences, but Catherine found another way to wear it, transforming the dramatic design into a powerful bracelet-style statement. And finally, There is the Strathmore Rose tiara, arguably one of the most fascinating examples of all. Created for the Queen Mother when she was still Lady Elizabeth Bowes Lyon, the delicate diamond rose design represented a very different period of royal life. After she became Queen Consort, the tiara gradually disappeared from view. Then, in 2023, Catherine wore it at a Buckingham Palace state banquet. The image was striking because the tiara seemed both historic and unexpectedly modern. Its delicate roses did not look like an old relic. On Catherine, they appeared fresh again. To me, that is the real story behind Catherine's royal jewels. The significance is not simply their monetary value. It is the way each piece carries a fragment of someone else's life. A queen, a princess, a mother, a daughter. And how Catherine can bring those fragments together without losing her own identity. Perhaps that is why these jewels continue to fascinate royal watchers. They are not just diamonds and pearls locked inside a vault. They are visual pieces of family history. And when Catherine wears them, that history moves again. Which royal jewel do you think carries the most powerful story? Diana's pearls, the Cartier Halo Tiara, or the long-hidden Strathmore Rose? Let me know your choice in the comments, and subscribe for more stories behind the British royal family's most fascinating jewels.